Look, you want stress in your life. It's a perfectly normal human response. But if you don't know how to manage it, it'll destroy your sense of well-being. Hi, my name is Christina Stathis, and I am a holistic health coach. I help people successfully develop those crucial habits that lead to living a healthy lifestyle. And I specialize in stress management. I know firsthand the power that stress possesses and how quickly it can impact your health. For most of my life, I worked full-time as a traveling yoga teacher. And for the most part, it's a low-stress job. But in 2014, that all changed. I had just started the process of going through a divorce. And on top of that, my Australian work visa was under threat of being canceled. And for the first time in my life, I was faced with the prospect of trying to survive on a single income. One day, I sat and pondered all these things that were taking place in my life. I let the fear of uncertainty take over me, and a tidal wave of stress wash over me. The next day when I woke up, the right side of my body didn't work properly. Images in my brain showed that I had 3 lesions and severe inflammation, and I was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. At first, I handled the stress pretty good, and my walking and strength improved fairly quickly. But once I took the treatment, I actually got a lot worse, and consequently my stress level started climbing. Each day, I developed new symptoms, and I no longer felt in control of my body. My stress and anxiety levels were through the roof, and I found myself in a mental state that was completely foreign to me. It got to the point where my life was under threat, and I remember making up my living will. Then one day, I confronted myself and forced myself to focus on listening to what I knew in my heart to be true. That stress was the cause of all of this, and I never had multiple sclerosis in the first place. Then I went to work on the process of changing my lifestyle to support the effects that stress had imparted on my entire being, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. And as I shifted my mental patterns and adopted new practices, boosted my spirituality, my health and experience of life changed dramatically. My brain lesions literally disappeared, and other symptoms like a pituitary tumor, water in my lungs, a severely low heart rate, they all disappeared as well. Now I know what you're thinking. I work in a stressful environment. That's just the way it is. The only way to avoid stress is to quit my job. Look, stress is not a person or a situation. Stress is an emotion, and that emotion is triggered by your thoughts. So the key here is to address your habitual thoughts and responses. So grab your pen and paper, because I'm going to teach you 3 tips that are going to help you to manage your stress. Tip number 1, establish a morning and evening routine. How you start your day and how you finish your day are like 2 pieces of bread that hold together your sandwich. Without those 2 pieces of bread, your sandwich falls apart, and so will your day. Ideally, you want to be waking up by 6 a.m. But if you're not already awake by this time, start by waking up 30 minutes earlier than your usual time. The first thing you're going to do when you get out of bed is you're going to look at yourself in the mirror and you're going to say, today is going to be a great day. Yes, as cheesy as it sounds, by looking at yourself in the mirror, you're connecting with yourself. And then by repeating that phrase, you're actually imprinting it in your brain, and throughout your entire day, it's going to look for ways to validate it. Then you're going to spend the next 10 minutes doing one of the following activities: movement, meditation, or using a planner to plan out your entire day. If you choose to begin with movement, you're going to spend the next 10 minutes doing some sort of activity that will get your body moving, like going for a brisk walk, doing push-ups, doing some stretches, or doing a quick full body circuit. For meditation, you can follow along with one of the breathing exercises or meditations on my channel and allow yourself to visualize what kind of day you would like to have. If you choose the planner, make sure you have a good planner that you can carry with you through the entire day, and then write down all the tasks that you need to get done during the day and be very specific about what time you will perform each task. Make sure you don't overwhelm yourself. As you get into the habit of doing one of these 3 activities, add in a second one, then add in the third one. So eventually you're doing all 3. Now for your nighttime routine. Set a bedtime no later than 11 p.m. and go to sleep at the same time every single night. 1 hour before your bedtime, log off all electronics, your computer, your television, your phone, and dim all the lights in your house. The first activity I'm going to suggest that you start implementing in your nighttime routine is reading. Give yourself at least 10 minutes to read something that will inspire you to improve yourself in some way. Once you have this habit of reading developed, add in 5 to 10 minutes of meditation. And the last thing I want you to add in is journaling. Give yourself about 5 to 10 minutes to do this. Start by writing down 5 things that you are grateful for. Then answer these questions. How did my day go? What did I learn? Who did I help? And what can I do tomorrow to improve? Remember, start with one activity at a time. Develop it as a habit. Then add in the second one and the third one. And eventually you'll have the full routine established. Tip number 2, define your non-negotiables. A large amount of stress occurs because we are over-compromising and not engaging in activities that really truly matter to us. It stresses me out just thinking about it. Not giving myself the attention that I know I need and deserve, it's extremely devaluing. And I believe this is a point when stress starts to affect our health. Decide when and where you're going to engage in those activities and schedule them in your planner. Make sure you are very clear what days, what time, and what you need in order to be able to participate in those activities. Then set your boundaries. Explain to your significant other, your family, your friends, your coworkers, why these things are an absolute must in your life and how they can participate in supporting you in these activities. You might find that you have some blocks of your own. So take some time to highlight why these things are important and how they contribute to helping you feel the way that you want to feel. Tip number 3, learn the art of communication. A lot of stress revolves around communicating, and the first person to get good at communicating with is yourself. Check in with yourself during your day. An easy way to start is to set an alarm at 2 different times during the day and spend a couple minutes to be present with yourself. Start by taking 3 deep breaths. Then ask yourself these questions. How am I feeling? Why am I feeling this way? How do I want to be feeling? And what can I do in this moment to improve my situation? You can also use this exercise when you're in the midst of an overwhelming situation, and you'll see how it prevents that cascade of stress and frustration that would normally take over. As you get better at communicating with yourself, you will find that your communication with others naturally improves. You want to be more present in your conversations. Effective communication begins with being an excellent listener. Pay attention to your breathing and slow it down. Listen with your full attention when someone is speaking and let go of the urge to have a response ready. It'll come naturally at the appropriate time. So those are my 3 tips for managing stress. Tip number 1, have a morning and evening routine. Tip number 2, define your non-negotiables. And tip number 3, learn the art of communication. Decide which tip you want to implement first and get on it today. Connect with me by clicking on the links in the description box below. Leave a comment and give this video a like.